What's up?
Oh, hi there.
Plugged on, Tyler, Keith. We're going to talk about favorite live bands that we've seen. We have 13 of them because we couldn't drill down 13 each.
Yeah.
I'm sure we share some
There's probably quite
bands,
a few of them. Or, I mean, there is no doubt on my mind that at least most of mine, if not just about all of them, could easily probably be on your list. You'll definitely have some that I don't. But
yeah. So these are all bands that we've seen live, and obviously this is such a subjective thing, you know, because there's so many things that go into a band's performance, like the crowd in the venue, you know, and stuff like that could really feed into like us really enjoying a performance, and maybe when you saw them it was like they sucked or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know. So it's a very subjective thing. But either way, I would love to know what you guys, what your favorite live bands are that you've seen. So, when we get started,
sorry, I literally just now remembered a band and just made it a fast edit to my list. I do also have a couple honorable mentions because there's a couple bands that I do really like live, but I couldn't feel like I could put them on a list. So I guess number 13, I have Overkill. Seen them twice with Creator and with Testament. Yeah, you got the shirt on. Overkill's, you know, they just got a lot of energy live, and it's just and mostly a lot of just their stage presence, and also just, I mean, saw them with Testament, which was super cool because I was really like, you know, when they really started getting into Testament, and then we saw them on our epic 2 days of thrash that we had a couple years back. So yeah. I mean, I don't want to hark on too long because otherwise this will be like a 40-minute video. But yeah, Overkill, 13.
Yeah, number 13, I have Power Trip.
Ooh.
I think I've seen them twice, but Power Trip just, you know, they're young, they have a lot of energy, they do let their music do the talking, really get the crowd fired up with a lot of the moments off of, especially a lot of their new songs. But they just bring it. They bring the thrash, and I mean, they were great that first time. Opening for Lamb of God, didn't even know who they were.
Yeah, at that point, man.
And it was like, wow, these guys are really fucking good. And now obviously they've toured a lot. Their most recent album was very successful for them, and they've gotten a lot bigger. And man, they kick ass live. I very much enjoy them.
They do. I've only seen them the one time when we saw them opening for Lamb of God and Anthrax. So
I want to see them a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. Especially after the last album, I definitely want to see them again. So number 12, to keep with the thrash theme, I have Creator. Seen them twice? Seen them twice now, if I'm not mistaken. So, and again, it's another a lot of the same things for Overkill. I mean, except Creator's like just a lot more straightforward. It's the music is great, and you know, it's just some of the most fun like crowds and pits that I've seen at shows have been from these Creator shows. You know, just people just going nuts. And I think that, you know, in a metal show, at the end of the day, that's really what you want. So, yeah.
Creator would be a big honorable mention for me. I mean, they're fantastic live.
Yeah.
I just think the last time we saw them, while they were very good,
they were blown out.
It was very loud. That whole entire show was so fucking loud, it kind of soured it a little bit to me. But that might not even really be their fault, but every fucking band was so loud on that show.
Was it Midnight?
TLA.
What was the other band? Midnight? Who else was on that show?
Obituary.
Obituary, that's okay. I was trying to remember who the other one was at that show.
There was another one too, I thought. I'm forgetting.
No, okay, whatever. Yeah.
Number 12, I have Glory Hammer. Glory Hammer we saw very recently with Ailstorm, and holy fucking mother of pearl. They were incredible live. The only thing when we saw them is like I felt like their singer could have been turned up, but at the same time the crowd was so fucking loud.
It didn't matter.
Yeah, and this could be one of those things where like the crowd was so into them. Everybody just loved watching these guys and their performance that the crowd, I felt, really fed the band. Yeah. You know? But still, like, how they all have like these characters that they play on stage, and it's very cheesy and goofy, but it fits Glory Hammer so well. And they played, you know, every fucking song you'd want to hear from Glory Hammer. They did it to perfection, and they're just one of the most fun bands I've ever seen.
Yeah, Glory Hammer would be one of my honorable mentions. They bounced around, possibly being on my list a few times, but yeah. Number, where are we at? 11. 11. I have Iced Earth. Which is not anything against them, because I mean it's because part of the reason there's 13 is I really wanted to make sure Iced Earth made this list. But I mean the first time we saw them, which was great after Plagues of Babylon came out. But I think what really almost sells it was the most recent time we saw them, and then also 100%. Having Matt Barlow come on stage and do Watching Over Me. That's a once in a lifetime thing. That's super cool. So I mean, and a lot of that. I mean, Iced Earth is just one of the. You can just listen to their songs and be like, this is. Before you've even seen them live, and it's like, this is going to sound great live because everybody's just going to sing. Mm-hmm. And it's exactly what all those shows, every single time we've seen them, has been about. It's been great, so.
Yeah, I have Iced Earth on my list as well. They're fantastic live, and it's, they have that sing-along factor that I think is really great, but they just perform really well. Yeah. And especially Stu. Stu is a fantastic frontman live that I think really adds to their performance, but man, that last time we saw them. I mean, you take out Matt Barlow, and it was still a very incredible show, but
that just
took it to another level. Number 11 is the band we saw recently. I have Winter Sun, and the first time we saw them, they were really, really good.
Yeah,
loved everything about that show. But this most recent time, I feel they took it to a whole new level, just because Yari's not. Playing guitar and singing at the same time, so he's a lot more mobile. He's more of a front man. He's getting the crowd involved a lot more, which then feeds the band because the crowd's going, and then they're feeding it back to the crowd, and it was just it was just incredible energy, and it just makes them such a better live band. And then just certain songs they have, like I don't know, Star Child and Son of Winter and Sons is probably the big one, to where there's nothing like being in that room when they're playing that song, and literally everybody singing along with that. Time's another one. They're a very fantastic live band, and even with so much going on in all their songs, they still pull off really well.
They're on my list. They're a little bit higher up on my list, but I mean, a lot of it comes down to the fact, especially on that last show, they played for over an hour and a half, and it did not feel like it.
Yeah, they played for almost 2 hours.
And that's like, and you know what? And I did notice. Yeah. Because because it's like you're just in the songs, and it just kind of keeps you in it. So then number 10, right, is that what I'm at? Yeah, 10.
Yeah. Yep.
I have Testament. Testament is another fun band to see live. We've seen them 4 times. Wow. I've seen them 4 times. Right?
Yeah.
Open, something like that. So once for when they opened for Slayer and Megadeth, this most recent time when they opened for Slayer, and then once when they opened for Anthrax and their headlining show with Overkill.
Yeah,
one time.
I've seen all of that, and then there was one where they opened for Lamb of God and Killswitch Engage.
Ah, okay. But I mean, I think out of a lot of the non-Big Four thrash bands, I think in some ways just live, Testament just captures something that's a little bit more where they have like the aggressiveness, and it can get sometimes, especially for me, a small guy, when you see how fun those pits get, I'm like, I can't do that. But then they also have like the moments like an Anthrax or a Metallica where it's just more of the fun pits, and they kind of just have a little bit of everything. And though they're usually a lot of times a little loud on the loud side, but I think it fits them because they're just. I mean, if you would, that's a great way to just describe that band as it's loud, as the kids say. Mm-hmm. So I've enjoyed everything I've seen of Testament. So yeah, number 10, yeah, that's where we were at. Yep. Something like that.
Number 10, I have Iced Earth. When we talk about Iced Earth, they're great.
Yeah. Number 9, I have Amon Amarth. A lot of this.
Shit! I forgot about them.
We've seen them 3 times. Mayhem opening for Megadeth, and then their headliner. And I think it's more so their headliner, because again, it's another one of those weird things where when they played "Pursuit of the Vikings" at the end, and the band just kind of stopped, and the crowd just kept singing. That was just super cool. But it's sort of in a very similar way to like Iced Earth. Their songs are just very catchy and sort of that almost. Even though it's not the power metal, it's like sort of you can still sing along, and it's just it was just a lot of fun. They have a lot of really good songs, and they usually play all of them live, and so that's great. And then I like that they played like a lot of the cool songs from their latest album when we saw them open for Megadeth. Mm-hmm. Like they played "Raise Your Horns," which was awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, Monomarch, they're fantastic live. Number 9, I have the Black Dahlia Murder. Seen the Black Dahlia Murder so many times now, and talk about like probably one of the most energetic bands you could possibly see live is the Black Dahlia Murder, and it's just non-stop for an hour and a half of just fucking crazy riffs and excitement. And you know, I don't know how their singer does it, Trevor. He's constantly like this all the time. He might be singing, going like this, just constantly like jerking the air off. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you do this for 20 nights in a row for an hour and a half and not want to fucking...
And not have your arms fall off.
But they're incredibly fun to see live, and they are a band that doesn't really give a shit. They go up there and they play, and it's just a damn good time. And they typically play just about everything you want to hear. At least, you know, 1 or 2 tracks from every album, which is cool.
Number 8, I have Winter Sun. So I won't say too much, but yeah, Winter Sun's just great. I mean, the first time they played almost every song that they had in their catalog, and then the most recent time they played for 2 hours, and they played just about every song you'd want to hear from their catalog. So Winter Sun's just great. Yeah, it's just a fun band. So
number 8, I have Epica. Epica. You know, we've seen Epica a few times now, and they're really good live, and you know, their music is very epic, you could say. And they pull it off very well live all the time. I mean, the first time we saw them, their keyboard player wasn't there, but then the next few times we've seen him, he's been there, and that guy makes a difference. You know, he's got his keyboard, he drags it around everywhere, and he's
they
very...
spin around in a circle.
It's a totally different band, especially the last time we saw them.
We've seen them 3 times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they toured with Lacuna Coil, they just fucking blew that place up. It was fantastic.
That's one of my favorite shows that I've ever been to. It was a great
Simone is great live, and their guitar players are so fucking fun to watch. Especially the one, not Mark Jansen, I forget his name. The
one with like the dark
the one that doesn't really sing really at all. That guy's just goofy as hell. He's fun,
But 7, Hailstorm. It's just a lot of things. Hailstorm is just really fun live. I mean, all of their songs. I mean, their songs are fucking corny, but it's great for singing along. And I mean, the first time we saw them, it was super cool. It was not what I expected, you know, from Hailstorm show. I knew that, you know, they're, you know, weird, but then they come out dressed more like skaters, and they have a giant rubber duck on stage, and I'm like, whoa. And then one of my favorite non-actual band playing memories from a show happened when we saw them with Gloryhammer, when the crowd was singing along to Bohemian Rhapsody. And I mean, that has nothing to do with them, but that's just a show memory that I associate with this band. That's just one of the coolest things.
That's one of the craziest crowds I was part of.
And it's just like, it was awesome. And I mean, their songs are great for, you know, for a live audience. You know, listening to them, I think they sound great on the album, but definitely this is a band that excels live. So
Number 7, I have Steel Panther. Steel Panther is fucking hilarious live. It's like seeing a comedy set and a metal show at the same time. And, you know, all their songs, they perform so well. They sound so good all the time. And, like, you know, watching Satchel play the guitar solos and all this stuff, he just nails it. But then they fuck around with each other. They make a ton of jokes to the crowd. And I'm not saying this because there's a chance you might see boobies up on stage. You know, that's kind of a bonus, potentially. But even without that, they're an incredible band, and they're not you know, you have to very much be into, you know, sexual humor to enjoy Steel Panther live, because yes, their songs are geared that way, but live they take it to a whole new level. So
number 6, I have Blind Guardian. That's again, even though this show was 4 years ago at this point. It's still one of my favorite shows that I've been to, you know. And again, Blind Guardian just has like a lot of songs that when they play live, and they have like, which I became after this show. I wasn't really all that familiar with them before this, but then after the show, I've grown to love them like 10 times more. They have a lot of songs that just like the crowd just takes over, you know, the Bard song, Valhalla, which is the famous one, but it's just like lots of energy and sort of very similar. That's a band that it definitely excels live. I mean, their studio stuff's great, but like the mix is sometimes weird with some things, but live is just incredible. And I still remember that show very fondly. Just boom, God, that was 4 years ago. Oh my god, it's close. Well, 3 or 4. It was 2015. It was 2015 or 2014.
It was the day Halo 5 came out. So that was 2015.
2015. So, yeah. Okay.
Number 6, I have Lamb of God. Lamb of God they destroy live. Randy's a great front man. That's always entertaining to watch, and they have so much energy. And I think the time is certainly that was the best was their tour with Anthrax that we saw them on. That was just an incredible show, but still they were great with Slayer. I saw them at the Trocadero in Philadelphia a few years ago, and it's a very small venue for Lamb of God. That was pretty cool. They always just put on an incredible show, incredible production to it as well. And a lot of songs they just hit hard. They're good.
Yeah. They'll be coming up rather shortly. I also have Lamb of God. I mean, also my number. 5.
Yeah.
5. Yeah. I have my numbers are all. I have numbers next to them, so I'm trying to decipher this. I have Epica. Epica again. Okay. Epica is it's like my favorite band right now because it kind of just checks all the boxes of music that I like, and then they're great live and kind of like what Tyler said. And I won't go on too much. Their most recent show where they toured with Lacuna Coil was basically what put them up this high on my list. Is there was just so much fun of just dudes. The keyboard dude just kind of, because his keyboard spins in a circle, him just kind of skipping in a circle, and then the little goofy thing they did where they had the crowd chanting the merch guy's name.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, it's cool. And it's just, they're a band that sells both live and in studio, which is, usually a band can excel in one or the other, but basically all these, I'll just say this now, the rest of my list at least, all the bands, they sell in studio and they sell even more live. So
yeah. Number 5, I have Blind Guardian. I mean, not too much to add there. That was an incredible performance, and they have a long and rich career where they could play just about anything and it would go over well. I mean, they are to me they're way better live than studio.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, I love them studio. So number 4,
Lamb of God.
Yeah,
a lot of the same things. That first show was kind of what sold me. Just like. I've never seen, at least on the side of being active. Crowds have been cool singing along and doing stuff like that. But in terms of being active, I don't know if I've ever been a part of a crowd that was more the pit just did not want to stop growing, and it was weird. And they were pushing into the wall, and it was whoa. And then it's just a lot of energy. And I think that's with all these bands that's what sells. They have the energy live. Even if they're doing something different. And Randy Blythe's a fantastic vocalist and. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun time. I wonder if it wasn't when it was in Silver Spring. If maybe that particular time was because it might have been somewhat of a hometown crowd, just a little bit. So
yeah.
You go hard when your band's in the area.
Usually, you see Lamb of God in Maryland, Philly, they kill it. And I'm sure Virginia, where they're from. Number 4, I have
Richmond. They're from Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Yeah. Number 4, I have Killswitch Engage. Killswitch Engage is incredibly fun live. Not only do they perform their music extremely well, they sound great, but they're incredibly fun to watch. Mostly Adam D, because he makes really dumb jokes. He does really dumb things on his guitar. He does just dumb shit all the time, and you don't know what's going to happen. God, I'm blanking on the track. But it's kind of like a build-up. And the whole time he's kind of playing just with his one hand and chugging a beer the entire time until it was done. Then he's done. He sets it down. He's going nuts. They're a very fun band to see live there.
I'm surprised. I have yet to see Killswitch live.
Yeah, I love that band. I feel like we probably share the top 3.
Yeah, top 3 is probably exactly the same, so we might as well just get it out of the way.
Our order might be slightly different, but I don't know.
Number 3, I have Anthrax.
Number 3, I have Anthrax as well.
I mean, I think a combination of the very first show, the first 2 times we saw them when they were on tour is probably the 2 times that I kind of remember fondly the most when they toured with Testament as one of my first shows, which was whoa. And there was just it was just a cool atmosphere. But I think the time that really sells is when they played Among the Living in its entirety at the Metal Alliance store, because that was such a cool. I remember moshing to TNT, which is a weird thing to say, and then Indians. Their songs are catered to just the thrash audience, and so it's great. They don't slow down like 1 second.
That show was good. I think just the memories of it. That first time we saw them with Testament, Death Angels, just a top 5 show to me.
Yeah.
That's a very special show. Didn't people lift you up and you threw the horns up and Joey Belladonna threw them back at you? It was like,
Wait, wasn't it you guys? Or
it might have been
I think it was you, and I just kind of went up, and it was during, in the end, I remember. And then that was cool. It was really cool.
It was very good. And even like when we saw them with Slayer in the fucking arena, they brought it.
Yeah.
They're just... so much better live to me. They're a band that's like, it's hard to say I'm not going to see them when they come around. You know what I mean?
It's like every time Anthrax is touring, it's like, oh fuck. It's going to be worth the money, but it's like, wow, it's going to cry. But all right.
Number 2,
Metallica.
Yeah,
Metallica. All right, then let's list a smooth sailing from here on out.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you have a lot more experience because I've only seen Metallica the one time on their most recent tour.
I've only seen them twice, and the first time was 2010. 2009
freshman year. I think I remember specifically. It's like
fuck.
But yeah, I mean, I remember that show, and that was super cool. Metallica just excels at doing their songs live, and I think they're in some ways. I think they're almost better than ever in a lot of aspects, just because they can kind of do everything, and they played like most of like everything that you'd want to hear. Like it was really they played like one Fade to Black and The Unforgiven. And I'm like, whoa. And, because usually they don't play that many ballads.
And even the new shit went over really well.
I still remember the weird stuff they did in Now That We're Dead. With I'm like, this is cool.
Was fun.
I'm like, yeah. So, that's all I can really say. We saw them one time, but it was great.
It's just crazy that, they can make you feel like you're seeing them in a small theater when you're in a football stadium with 50,000 people.
Yeah.
Like, they just put on a fucking killer performance. Number 1.
Iron Maiden?
Yeah.
It's Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden just... I don't know if there's just
I don't know how you don't have Iron Maiden at number 1 if you're a metal fan. That's just me.
Yeah, it's like... the thing was, it's a good thing I realized it, because I almost killed myself, because... that was the one band that escaped my mind. When I said I just doing quick edits, I was like, well, how did I forget this? So, yeah, Iron Maiden. I mean, there's just something special about seeing Iron Maiden because, you can never go wrong, because at least it seems like their most recent tours, they're either doing a throwback tour, which you're going to hear all the great shit that, or they're putting out great albums, and they're playing stuff from their new album, which is great. I mean, I've seen them twice. So the only 2 times you've seen them, and I mean both times it was great. I mean, it's still another one of those cool things was the crowd singing along to Fear in the Dark and just stuff like that. What you said is almost a perfect way to sum it up. How do you not have Iron Maiden?
Yeah, I mean, Bruce Dickinson, I think, is the best front man you could have in a metal band. They sound great all the time. They're entertaining to watch. They could play just about fucking anything. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
We saw them on the Made in England tour. That was like a throwback tour, and that set was just unbelievable. They played.
That set was stacked.
I mean, I remember like playing like Seventh Son and the Clairvoyant. I'm like, dude, this is fucking awesome. And then Wasted Years, and then we saw them recently on the Book of Souls tour, and that was fucking awesome. Like playing the Red and the Black.
Yeah, that was
so
really
good.
Cool.
I mean, they were just phenomenal, and can't wait to see him again.
Well, they're doing another throwback tour, so here we
go. See the Beast.
Ooh, I'm super stoked.
Yeah, very excited. Iron Maiden's just, if you're a metal fan, I just feel everybody needs to see Iron Maiden. I mean, there's so many other bands that I think are great live, but for another day.
Yeah,
the one honorable mention I would throw out there is Cannibal Corpse. Cannibal Corpse is so raw. They get up there, they have no intro, they just turn the lights off, pick up their instruments, start playing, and George is just so goofy. He's like, how many songs do you want to hear? 2? Well, I've decided this is still the last song. So fuck you.
The only other really one that I put out there, and it's mostly only because they're, despite where they've gone, the 2 times I've seen them have still been 2 really good shows. Would be Hailstorm. I still really enjoyed the 2 times I've seen them live.
Yeah, I liked them the 1 time I've seen them.
So, but yeah.
Oh my God! I can't believe I forgot him. Godsmack. I don't know if you've seen Godsmack.
I've never seen
Godsmack.
Godsmack
Is incredibly cool live.
I've heard that they're awesome live, but I've never seen them.
They sound pretty good, but they are very entertaining. And then they play voodoo, and they do their dual drum thing, and it's just crazy.
Slipknot.
Oh my God! How did we forget Slipknot? Fuck.
I mean, I'd still probably put a lot of these bands up above them, but they might have. Slipknot probably would have breached the top 10.
Slipknot's one that I really want to see again.
Yeah,
and they have a new album coming out next year. I'm sure they'll be touring.
Yeah,
I really want to see them again because they were great.
Yeah.
Let us know what your favorite live bands are. Thanks for watching. See you later.